Ready to find out more about the small businesses and artists in your town? Small Biz is where it is. Let's support our community by shopping small, keeping it local, and keeping things all fine and Danjee.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We are joined by two special guests this week, our little mascots.
Two special guests indeed, yeah. So if you see a cloud of hair in front of the camera, that's just coming off our dogs.
It's called Corgi Glitter, okay?
And you were grumpy down there.
And we're covered in it all the time. We're just those people now. So Mackenzie and Oliver are here joining us as we just wanted to kind of check in and see how everybody's doing and let you know what we've been up to.
You remind me that before we got our first dog, I was like, I don't want to live with like dog hair where I can see it everywhere. And then after a while, you're just like, forget it. Who cares? Let's double down.
Double down. Not only do we now have like the tan hair from her, we got black and white hair from him all over the place.
So anywhere you couldn't see the tan hair, you can see the black hair at least.
So if you ever come to our house for dinner, just know you're probably going to find a dog hair or two in your food.
Oh, gross.
It's so carotene.
So true. But yeah, and you know what I've noticed with him too, which is kind of extra gross, is his little black hairs come off sometimes, and then you find them around the house, and you're like, it's a dog hair. I know what it is.
It's just a dog hair.
Anyways, as we get started here with just some updates on what we've been up to, we're in between guests this week as usual.
Well, guys, that's about how long our special guests lasted. They couldn't behave themselves, so we had to kick them to the curb.
They didn't read the agreement about being on camera and how you can't be fighting and growling and
jumping for toys and making all this background noise that nobody really wants to hear.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, if they could have just remained calm, so many people would have watched the show just because they're cute little faces.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll be back.
Yeah.
I doubt it, though, but...
Anyway, shout out to our special guest. And we wanted to say thank you so much to Heather Moreland, who was...
she says, her episode's coming up. I did the same thing. Her episode's coming up next week, but we've already recorded it with her, yeah.
That's right. But from Lakesite Accounting, she was on, and she sent us the nicest little handwritten note.
I know. It was really cool. It was
It's like a lost art,
Like mailed it and everything. So Heather, thank you so much for that. And we're looking forward to your episode coming out next week. But thank you for that card. We really appreciate it. Big long handwritten thing about how much fun she had on the show and stuff. So
it was so great. It was so great. Not many people do that nowadays. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of it's like it makes you feel kind of special when people took the time to actually sit down and write a note like that.
Totally.
I always say that I want to do that, and then I never do.
You know what?
I'm so bad.
This is so not surprising for those of you that know me, but I have an app on my iPad that allows you to use your Apple Pencil, and you can handwrite out different cards, and then through the service, you can mail a paper card to people, and when they get it, it's got a handwritten note. It's called Felt if you're an iPad user. But it's really cool because you still get the cards.
Yeah. And I actually got one for Mother's Day from the pups.
That's right, you did. Not a handwritten one, I guess, from the pups, but
no, not handwritten, but that would be quite impressive.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I have had kind of a handwritten one from Mackenzie before
with the puppy prints on it.
Yeah, so cute. And then I got a cute little sweater from them that has. It's like a custom sweater from Etsy, so probably a small business that's on there. It's usually mostly small businesses.
Yeah.
But it's a really cute little paw print on the front, and then it's got their names with like little corgi ears on the sleeve.
Yep, and I think it says like this girl loves her dog or something like that. And then right on the sleeve it's got their names and like the outline of their heads. It's pretty neat, yeah.
It's really cute. So
let's talk about your new, I don't want to call it small business yet, but your new venture that is turning out, in my opinion, really awesome. The first one you've done.
Yeah. So I started I had this idea I just need to keep my hands busy and be creative in my own sense. So I started doing those little like custom coffee bars, but it's going to not just be coffee bars. I have like a whole list of them started, don't I? Like some cute little themed bar ideas.
I've never seen. Now, look, I'm not looking at the stuff online, so maybe somebody's done it, but
Yeah.
I've never seen some of the cool ideas that you have, like a margarita bar or
Yeah.
a martini bar or a coffee bar or a hot cocoa bar. What is this great
just
ideas?
dedicated to that. I have seen a few, like after I come up with the idea, I looked it up, and there has been a few that
Yeah.
I've seen, but not like what my brain is thinking that I want. So,
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
the one. This is one I haven't heard before, the martini bar.
No, I want to do a martini bar out of piano.
Out of an old piano. How cool would that be?
If I could find like a baby grand piano or something, it's
Yeah.
just the moving it. Like I'm gonna have to
Getting
end up
it.
getting a trailer or something like that. But the idea is just to see if it's something creative I can do, and it's so exciting because I keep getting all these new tools, power tools. So that's kind of empowering. And I have not asked for any help on this.
No, and what's funny is that Anjee will message me from down the
A
basement
few
and say,
things I've had to ask about, like some power tools.
Yeah, but I wasn't even saying that. You'll message me and say, I am loving this. This
Yeah.
is so cathartic for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, it seems like something you're really enjoying. And I'm going to throw a picture up here of
Yeah.
the coffee bar that she's done so far and the one that she's finished. But these are turning out to be really cool, like boutique-y, nice, heavy wooden
Yeah.
pieces of furniture.
Well, that's important to me because I know when you move furniture around, how it loses its structure.
Yeah, cheapy stuff
one
like
time you
IKEA
move.
stuff, yeah.
So I'm keeping that in mind when I'm kind of repurposing these, older armoires or pieces of furniture. I want it to be sturdy when you move it. So it's not like you got to tighten it all up by the time you get it from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And if you ever have to move it again. So I definitely some learning curves along the way. Like I do feel like I'm going to end up getting a spray gun, airbrush. What is that called? Like air sprayer.
I'm not the tool
whatever.
person in the family now. I don't know. You have more tools than I do now.
Anyway, like a little, compressor with like an air gun so that you can paint faster.
Oh yeah, just like a paint sprayer.
Yeah, because the types of paint I like to use, it's a little more application time, and I feel like if you are trying to crank some pieces out and be able to, keep up on people wanting them, then you got to be able to paint just a little faster. So
yeah, plus more smooth.
I'm gonna do that.
And I'm kind of half joking, but I painted our house in Florida with the sprayer. So you need something like that, just like a smaller version.
Yeah,
but,
they have these little handheld ones. It's like
she's
they're
sending
not-
me links to the Craftsman tool chest, toolbox, workbench table she wants and all. So she's going to be the.
Hey, it'll only help keep everything organized.
She's going to be the
okay?
craftsman here. She's going to start making us furniture
I
eventually.
really
but
like it, and I do think I did a really good job on this first piece. I kept it.
I do too.
I kept it pretty neutral to where it could fit into lots of different spaces. These are perfect for like, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, anything like that. Everybody always wants that little cool custom coffee bar piece in their place. But even for like a little coffee bar or an office, it'd look really cool in like a law firm or something. It'd be really cool, just little extra accent piece.
That's another thing you talked about, not necessarily for like a law firm, but doing one like an old 70s style liquor cabinet where you have like the decanter that the whiskey goes in and the glasses and the mirrors and all that stuff. So she's had some great ideas. And
my next one is the speakeasy.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Cocktail bar that I'm working on.
That's the one with like the crushed red velvet stuff in it and all that. Oh, that's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so stay tuned. We'll put some pictures up. I don't know if it's going to be a small business, but I guess anytime if you continue doing a little side project like this, it's a small business. You just have to decide if you're going to, keep it as like a side gig or an actual side small business.
We're also looking for names still. So if you have any cool ideas, I would love to integrate your name. You can't do it with
Anjee. It's so hard though because my name's so weird.
Maybe though. You never know. I mean, somebody might message us with a name and you might be like, oh my God, that's it. That's it.
And so I've been, down in the basement doing all this work, and you've been updating the podcast website.
I won't even tell people
It's a
how
lot of
much
work.
time I have spent on redoing every single thumbnail for the website, for YouTube, but trying to make it more uniform. You know, when we started, we didn't really know what our brand was going to look like. And so I've kind of gone back and retroactively. Seems like a boring thing to talk about, but if you're into like graphic art and stuff, I've tried to make all of them look more standard, and it's a much cleaner site now to look at. But on our website, if you didn't know this, at findandanjee.com, you can see every guest that's ever been on the show, so you can go to different seasons and look and pick an episode, and you can listen to the episode directly from our website if you don't know how to go to a podcast player or you don't want to. But then also every one of our episodes that we ever made a YouTube video of, or other things we've done, like commercials for small businesses, or sometimes we would do like a clip if we're out at a farm or something. So all that's on the website. It's kind of cool. It links to our YouTube channel. You can watch the videos and stuff through there, but it's a lot easier to navigate if you're just like, oh, I want to go listen to the one where they talk with whatever company. All that stuff is on there. So that's what I've been doing. And, we spent a lot of time.
I mean, I've been working on the Linwood Lounge website, and I just see what a pain it is to work on a website.
It does take a while.
It's the building, like you build the regular website, and you think everybody looks at a computer when they're looking at your website, but most people don't. They're looking on their phone. So then you have to go back and forth and do all this tweaking, and what a pain in the rear.
This
is why they hire people to do this crap.
I still do that as a side work if anybody needs a website built. The way I normally do it, though, that's my Smart Fox Computers side gig, but I'll build your website for you with an interface that is very easy for you to go back and manage after that if you want. I have clients that say you manage it, and then I have other clients that say, I'll take it from here. I just need to change the pictures and stuff. So if you have a small business or whatever, and I found some very inexpensive solutions in terms of cost as it relates to the plan that you have to pay for to keep it up online every month or every year. But I didn't mean to get into plugging that, but I do that, and I have a handful of really great clients and examples of some websites I've done. So if you're interested, just message us on the show, and I'll reach back out to you.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And the part of that for me is working on the website, doing all that stuff is, I'm recovering. Last time we spoke to you guys, just us, I was talking about, I got to go get my hernia fixed that I got from blowing my nose. But it turns out I had two hernias. I had one on each side. So I've probably had them for a long time. I just made it worse. So
healing process is going good, though, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm coming along. And but I'll say this, it's, surgery is pretty simple. You just go in, you're out in a few hours. The recovery has been a little more than I expected. Now I say that, it's been like a week, so I'm very impatient.
But that's what you always say, though. There's nothing to surgery. They put you under, you wake up, and you go home. And then once you're home, there's no nurses, because there's no nurses here at this house.
Oh.
There's no nurses to take care
I tease her about not, because truthfully, when she's down like after a surgery, I am such a...
I have a great nurse.
I'm
I have
so
like
ridiculous.
a candy striper up in this house.
Yeah. I'm like, I have all the medications documented on when you need them. I'm like, you might as well have a little bell to ring.
And I'm so bad. I'm like, aren't you healed yet? What's happening? I mean, you've been home for 7 hours.
That is not true.
Seriously.
You are sweet and you're nice. I'm just kind of a baby about it. But anyway, I've been healing. It's been fine. We finally got to get out and about yesterday, which was nice. Can't do hiking yet. But I'll say this, and this is not a kid-friendly conversation if your kiddos are listening to this episode, but fellas, and I can only say this for guys, if you get that lower hernia surgery, it's kind of like above and off to the sides of your junk. It's what they do is it's called laparoscopy or laparoscopy.
I can't say it.
Anyway, so they'll make some incisions up high, and then they go down with these robotic arms and patch it all up with a mesh. You don't have any scars. It's great. But one thing, they told me a little bit that really didn't express to me just how intensely your junk is going to bruise. And I am not, am I exaggerating?
No.
I'm talking black.
Pretty sure you got in a fight
dark,
with Mike Tyson down there.
Right. It looks like your junk caught on fire and then Mike Tyson punched the fire out, because if it weren't for some buddies I had that had this done, I would have thought I need to get to the emergency room. And my buddy Joe...
They didn't tell me that. Like when they were giving me the instructions to take care of you. There was no mention of that. And I don't understand why when it happens to probably most people.
Well, it doesn't hurt. I will say this, though. I remember as I was either going in surgery or coming out of surgery...
Yeah, but they're not allowed to talk to you during that time period. That's silly.
Well, he said... wear like tidy whities. And I'm like, I don't have that. And he's like, well, we just wear like supportive underwear. And I totally forgot. So like 3 days after the surgery, I've been wearing like loose boxers.
Like supportive what? Like Spanx? Do I need to buy some
they
Skims?
just don't
What's
want
up?
your boys bouncing around like exactly what I did, where I'm like just free and easy for 3 days. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I'm dying. Look. But anyway, thank you to my buddy Joe, who I know he listens sometimes. But Joe's like, yeah, I did the same thing, dude. I called the emergency room. Or 911, not 911, but the hospital or whatever, and they said you're. He didn't call the emergency room. He was gonna go to
Get the helicopter here now.
But he said they told him no, it's perfectly normal,
Lord.
of course. And we all do this Googling thing.
Don't do it.
It's a plus and
It's not a plus.
it's a blessing and a curse because
Yes.
one article says it's totally normal, but if any of the pictures come up, you're like, oh my God, that's where I'm headed. I'm going to die. Anyway, so fellas, again, if you ever get that hernia surgery, not a big
It can
deal.
happen to females too, though. I did
know
read
you
that.
told me that.
Yeah, the bruising down there too. So
I guess
really weird.
It is weird. It's almost like not to make everybody throw up.
It's like
but
gravity. All the blood's just
all the blood
flowing
from
down.
the surgery just kind of goes down to one spot. So
I'm so
hurt.
glad you guys were able to tune in today to learn this.
Yeah,
just
here we'll
in
put some
case.
pictures up of what it looked like. No, I'm just kidding. Never going to do that. But anyway, so I'm recovering well, but it has kind of limited us on what we
yeah.
can do. We had a really fun day yesterday, kind of running around doing some stuff.
We did, and it's our anniversary weekend.
Yeah.
So kind of sucks that you're limited for that, but that's okay
Yeah.
as long as you get better. But we did spend our 10-year anniversary
Yep.
at our favorite restaurant
Yes.
in the area, Copper Crown.
Oh, it was so good. If you haven't been to Copper Crown, it's a small
Yeah, we
business.
love them.
They're in Asheville, I guess, technically.
It's considered Asheville. I mean,
So
we
good.
say Hendersonville because that was the town we were staying in when we discovered them,
Yep.
but they are considered Asheville. But we talked to Tim, the bartender there. They were making great drinks as
They
usual.
always do. Their cocktails are amazing.
Yeah.
They have a list of cocktails. That's where I discovered the Sazerac, but they also, you ask them to make stuff.
Yeah, I said I want like a lemony lavender martini. They just whip it up, they're really good craft cocktails.
Yeah, they
it's not
really
like
are.
overpowering of one flavor over the other. They're truly craft cocktails.
And I think the food is sort of a New Orleans style. I'm not really sure. I don't know how that works, but I just know it's delicious.
Yeah, it is. We had a pork schnitzel, which was delicious.
Oh, we did. And my favorite app there is fried green tomatoes with spicy buffalo wing sauce on them and blue cheese.
Oh, so
It
delish.
is so good.
And they put like some pickled onions on them too, which
that's
are
right.
delish.
Yeah.
And then we tried the beef heart. I like to try new stuff.
I do too.
You know?
And I've never had a cow heart, let's
Yeah.
just call it. But it was so good. Not
Yeah.
livery or anything, It was
That's
really,
what we were afraid of. It was going to be a little pungent, kind of strong, but it was really delicious. So, however they're making it right. But
Oh, so good, yeah.
yeah, so that was, of course, a great dinner, and we had a great evening. We came home and watched movies and just chilled out.
It was really fun, yeah.
And then yesterday we went to Granddad's Apples.
Yes, and we've been there
Yep.
before to pick apples, but this was for the lavender picking, right?
Yeah, they're doing like a little field of lavender, and of course they have all their their little store open and everything. And I did notice you said, "Are those peach trees?" And I said, "No, I don't think they are. They are peach trees
are?
that they're
Okay.
growing." Yeah, so they do peaches as well there.
Oh, we got to go back there. But yeah,
So
that
I
place
love
is so
that.
cool. If you've never been to
Yeah.
Granddad's Apples, and maybe I'll throw a clip up of yesterday, but also when we went to do the apple picking, different times of year, it looks so different there. There's like
Yeah.
full cornfield sometimes with a corn maze, but it's just a beautiful view out the back of this really cool little sort of country market. And
Yeah.
they do what are they called? Apple cider donuts?
Apple cider donuts. They do slushies, all sorts of different.
Yeah.
Little quick grab and sit down in a rocking chair on a picnic table and enjoy a meal overlooking the most beautiful piece of property I think I've seen.
And you can bring your dogs, which is so cool. So
there
we
were
brought,
lots of dogs there actually.
Yeah.
And we met some great people. We passed out a couple podcast cards, met somebody that just moved here from Florida. And she's
Yeah.
doing the same thing, kind of just loving to explore. And she was very emotional about, I think her name was Kelly.
It was Kelly, yeah.
She was very emotional about moving to the mountains. But I think that is, I think that's a lot of people.
I totally have been that way.
Yeah. So because there's like a healing, and I think we talked to somebody before about how there are all these retreats and stuff up here, and there's a lot of recovery centers because there is something therapeutic about this area, the mountains.
I am not against being all hippy dippy. I'm just not that way. To me, there's got to be something scientific about it. The same way that you would tell me about like a waterfall.
Well, what is it?
What comes out of a waterfall?
The negative ions.
Yeah. So there's that makes sense to me.
Just and like by the ocean is therapeutic.
And maybe it's all the creeks and rivers. I don't know, but there is something about being up here in the mountains to me.
Yes.
Especially when we get out hiking and stuff, where it is almost emotional feeling to me, where it's like, it just feels right. It just feels so good. It's hard to explain.
And especially when you're away from noise pollution of any kind, that's when it really... something soaks into you almost. It's just being centered.
Yeah. And it could
now, if you could just take your shoes off and just get your feet in the ground.
That's where I draw the line. I draw the line. No.
But getting away from the light pollution too is important. And speaking of getting away from light pollution, it's pretty dark in our backyard area.
Yeah.
And what did I make you go outside and do last night?
Oh, I call them fireflies, but it is so funny because when I posted it, all of my friends that are from the country, like my mom from Kentucky, she goes, "Those are lightning bugs." But anyway, the fireflies or lightning bugs or whatever you call them. I'll put a clip up of this too because there are so many of them in our backyard at night that you can literally film it. It looks like fireworks going on.
Well, I know up here it is like there's a certain. I think it's just in June. There's a certain time of year where I need to do more research because I think it's probably like mating season for them, and that's why they're really out. It's like when we see love bugs in Florida.
Right,
you know what I mean? You know that it's mating season. They're all over your windshield.
Yeah, it could be.
So I think that's what it has to do with. But
it's just so cool.
I love it. It brings back just such great childhood memories for me. Like living up in Michigan, I remember me and my cousins. They would be out in this tall field of wheat or grass or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but they would be all in that. And we would take little mason jars. And I know we probably killed the things, but we're kids. We used to do it with bumblebees too.
We were worse.
But you're running around like you can scoop them up because they're so bright. Yeah. You can kind of follow it and just get it in the jar. And we'd get whole jars of them and have like little lantern. Aww. And that's true. Like you see that in cartoons and stuff, but that really works.
Oh, that's cool.
And then and when I see the big fuzzy bumblebees.
Like the black ones?
The black and yellow ones that are real fuzzy. Yep. Those we used to catch too. And they were huge. Yeah. We weren't scared of getting stung or anything. We were just having a ball as kids.
We were such country kids too. I hate to admit, but we would take once in a great while back in Florida, you'd see a couple lightning bugs. It was not a lot like it is here. But I do remember friends showing me that you can smush them, which is terrible. Yeah. And the stuff glows that comes out of them. So
little bioluminescent organisms that live inside them.
Terrible about that. But just being out there and seeing that, just, for me, I know, it's funny. My mom also Elaine mentioned that it was, sent her a clip last night. She goes, "Oh, this reminds me of my childhood." So there's something about wherever you guys were. Yeah.
Well, it definitely brings me back. And it's also very mesmerizing. Because these things are so bright. You're like, it looks like a twinkling star. Like if you didn't know it was a bug and you're looking up and it's up there, you would have thought it was a star twinkling. Yeah. Like that's how bright they are.
You know what it looks like to me? Well, I don't have like the childhood memories of them much, but there's so many in our backyard. It looks almost like if you ran the whole backyard with Christmas lights, but they were really far away from each other and they did not blink in unison. Because it looks like a white Christmas light that just quickly comes on and goes off. It's pretty wild. Yep. It's pretty neat.
Well, real quick also, I want to give a shout out to Rosa from Ruby's Home Cleaning and Heather Moreland from Lakesite Accounting. Both of them have let me know about a networking event that happens like once a month or once a week. So I'm going to hit those up this week.
That's awesome. Do you remember the name of that event? right
No,
offhand?
no. There's one in Candler and one in Black Mountain. I know the the towns, but I don't know.
Normally, I'm cheating on my phone, and I can just say, "Oh, the episode they're on," but we're using my phone to record this video, so I can't see it.
Well, after I go to it, we'll chat about it or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
But I need to get out and start networking with the small businesses around here a little more instead of just waiting for weekends to kind of drive around and go check things out.
Yeah.
I need to be exploring during the week and making some connections.
Yeah, indeed. That'd be cool. Also, one more thing though, we did the Granddad's apples, did the lavender thing. Then we went to the Mills River Dog Park and let the dogs get in the river, which
they
was
love
I
that
actually got in
river.
the river too this time. I took my shoes off and got in the river, and they love the river. I wish we could just let them go, but it's a very strong current, and I'm too worried about them. Then we went to, I don't know if it's a small business. We should probably look it up, but it was neat.
I don't think it is.
We went to Sierra Nevada Brewery, and everyone tells you to go there.
Yeah.
And I
see why though.
I do too. It's
huge.
It's huge. It's really pretty. It's almost reminded me of the Biltmore in terms of, I mean, you got people directing traffic to where you park and everything.
I mean, we went there because we needed a place we could take the dogs.
Yep.
Most places you can take the dogs here to eat, but some place that was just close by on our ride back, and we found that was the first place that kind of was like dogs on the patio, and we took them out.
And it was very fun. It was nice. We had a nice little lunch.
Crowded.
But this is we talked about this on the way back, for being honest. It's not necessarily our speed in terms of if we want to go to a brewery and hang out and with the dogs. We kind of like the more low-key.
And like more intimate.
Very
like,
mom and pop vibe. But if you have a group and you want to go to like the happening massive major restaurant brewery, this Sierra Nevada is definitely
Well, I mean, so much space there. Like I said, they have little areas you could sit off to the side with, your family or, kids or dogs, whatever.
Yeah.
Whole back patio. Then they got like food trucks set up all over to where you can get beer there instead of waiting in line up by the restaurant. Then they got a playground for kids and they got a garden there. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. And some of the stuff they had listed there too, like they collect the rainwater in these cisterns to water their plants.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome.
They have a garden that's beautifully manicured that you can walk through, but they use that for their foods. So some of the stuff they're doing there we really like.
They had a nice amphitheater, great band was playing there.
Yeah.
So really nice setup. Definitely a great place for like a large group if you're going.
For
just
sure.
Kind of a little bit of something for everybody to do.
And if you want it to be, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
beautifully landscaped. If you want to go somewhere, I would say like if I were having a big group and we all just want to go somewhere that's outside, that's going to be a hot spot with the band and everything. It's not very low key. It's definitely not, but it's very neat. Very cool.
But it was Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, that's true.
So, right there, you're going to, probably double the occupancy.
I can tell by the size of their parking lot, though. That place is like,
when you got people directing the traffic.
I was like, this is like a Disney's brewery or something. I know,
and like when you're driving in, it's like the Biltmore, right? Huge rock walls on the side and just beautifully landscaped everywhere.
You pass the Sierra Nevada sign, it's another mile and a half before you get to the parking lot because you're driving across all this property.
I know, it was beautiful.
It was very cool. It was a good time.
But we definitely have some of our little favorite places that we want to show people when they come up, and we're very excited because my bestie is coming up.
Yes, my
first weekend in June or second weekend in June.
Yep. My brother and his wife are coming up. Yeah.
And so we're gonna hang out at the house and do some hiking, and I think you'll be fully recovered by then. So we're gonna go do it.
I'll do just like I did last time I had surgery. When they're like 3 weeks, you should be able to do anything. I'll be like, ding, 3 weeks. Let's go.
That's right. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's gauge yourself because we've been back in the hospital for that. So we'll gauge it. We'll definitely gauge it. But we have some cool spots we want to go show them, definitely. And
we're very
excited for them to come and see where we're at.
Yeah, we're finally at that phase of all of this move and everything where we're ready to start we've got friends and family that want to come up, and we're like, okay, we're ready now. Let's schedule every few weeks, have some more guests up, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, we have an extra room. We bought a cool little air mattress. Throw them on that, and there you go, unless they want to stay somewhere else. But
that's true.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We just wanted to give a little update. We look forward to our guests that we will be having, our guest episode, second cup of coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Heather Moreland is next week, and then we have some more guests booked for June, so
can't wait,
guys. Anyway, thank you so much once again for listening, and remember, at the end of each and every day, It's all fine and dandy. Dive into the gripping world of fiction with author Daniel Fox. Get ready for heart-pounding suspense and thrilling twists in his novels In the Dark and Lies That Bind. From the very first page, you'll be drawn into a web of mystery and intrigue that will keep you guessing until the very end. With each twist and turn, Daniel Fox masterfully crafts a story that will have you on the edge of your seat, turning pages late into the night. If you're ready for an unforgettable journey into the unknown, pick up your copy of In the Dark or Lies That Bind today on Amazon or at danielfoxbooks.com.